Very quick video here to talk to you about depreciation, what it means, and the two different types of depreciation there are. Now, in a previous video, I talked to you about appreciation, and that means that some things go up in value over time. So, for instance, you buy a house, it will go up in value. Also, over time, things generally increase in price. We call this inflation. And that's the idea behind appreciation. And when I taught this, I talked about this. Things go up over time. They go up in value. Depreciation is the opposite of that. It means that things go down in value. Things go down in value over time. Now, most of you are probably in the market or thinking about getting a car at some point. You're getting to that age. Now, when you buy a car, let's say you buy a new car, you know that if you try to sell that in a year's time, it's going to be worth less than what you paid for it. So you might pay $30,000 for a new car, and if you try to sell it the next year, it might be worth $25,000. After 2 years, it'll be $22,000, whatever. A lot of things depreciate in value. This t-shirt, this shirt, I bought it for $60, and if I try to sell it to someone, I'll be lucky to get 10. Same pennies will go. So a lot of things depreciate in value over time. That's our basic idea. Now, I said that there's two types of depreciation, and that's true. One of them is called straight line depreciation. Now, that just means that the item that we're talking about decreases by a dollar value each year, let's say. So let's say you bought a car for $30,000. Every year it loses $2,000 of its value. And that's a really simple idea. $30,000, and then in the second year it's worth $28,000, and then the next year $26,000, and the next year $24,000. That's what we mean by straight line depreciation, and it's by far the easiest method. So there's the first kind of thing. It's also a little bit unrealistic. So we have a second method here, and it's called diminishing value method. Now, this means that it decreases by a percentage each year. Now, that's a more interesting case, and it's a more difficult idea. So let's say, I'll just do an example here. You bought a car for $30,000, and let's say it's decreasing by 10% each year. That means in the first year, it'll lose $3,000. That's 10% of $30,000, so it'll be $27,000. And then in the second year, it'll lose 10% of that, which is $2,700. So it'll decrease, but it'll be decreased by a smaller number. It'll decrease to $2,300. And then the next year, it'll be 10% of that. And the next year, 10% of that, 10% of that, 10% of that. So it decreases by a percentage. All right, so there's two different types. Straight line depreciation, that decreases by a set dollar value each year. And diminishing value method, that decreases by a percentage each year. All right, that's depreciation. We're going to look at each of those in turn.